Hello everyone and welcome back to round 9 of Season 2 of the F124 Driver Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Monaco, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, we're finally on the new 1.3 version of the game, so this is probably actually going to be our first test to see how all of the cars work. You know, are we going to see ERS trains and things like that as much as we were on the previous version of the game? And obviously Canada is probably one of the best tracks to test that out on. Of course, it played host to our first ever win inside this game in this series, mainly because of all of those DRS trains as well. We were able to carve our way through and really capitalise because of that. But of course, yes, we head towards this weekend though. Ferrari have come back knocking once again then, so I think we're really starting to head towards advanced discussions with the red team there as well. So let's head, see what they want to offer me, and, you know, trying to line up that move down the line. Here we go then. Ferrari seemingly very, very happy with their upgrade strategy as well. They see 23 upgrades applied with an 86% success rate. I mean, let's be fair, at the end of the day, it's Ferrari. We've already said that we are very interested in trying to join them. And you can see, yeah, both of their best results coming last time out in Monaco. So, you know, they're coming on a bit of a high after that Grand Prix. So we will continue talks down the line as well. We've never actually extended conversations this far into the game.
Around, and I'm delighted to say that the team are none the wiser about us chatting with anyone else. And the meeting went well too. I know. I'm amazing. You're welcome.
Well, I'm actually really interested to know what happens, obviously, when the team does find out that we're talking to Ferrari, because, well, especially Haas, they've kind of got to know that is the end goal for us, especially when we are a young junior driver for Ferrari as well. But yeah, obviously just try and make sure that we have got everything else onto the car that we need, obviously with all of our specialists. And yeah, I think we should be ready to take a look as well. They're championship-wise, Verstappen now, that gap at the top's been cut down to just 19 points between him and Sergio Perez. We've had a bit of a slump in recent races, so we'd like to return strong this weekend. Well, I'll be honest, I think the expectation would be quite high if I was hoping to really come into this one and feel that another win was on the cards. I actually went back and watched that race from last season. We were incredibly lucky in that one. Pretty much everything that could fall into place did over the course of that Grand Prix. So, you know, I'm certainly not going to say that it's impossible for us to do the double here in Montreal. But yeah, we'd obviously like to try and get those 25 points, especially after Yuki Tsunoda took his first win in red so far this year. Obviously, Charles Leclerc still yet to win with that team. So, yeah, Yuki just starting to kind of make his claim that a little bit more impressive. Trying to make sure that we are confident with the car we've got underneath us as we head back up towards the line. Purple score. Well, I know I get asked it by you guys as well all the time, and I need to remember to actually update the description on this video as well, because we are now on to 110 AI inside F124. Normally, the only reason why I don't go all the way to 110 is the fact the AI are a little bit OP in a straight line. But where this Haas car is so good, top speed this year, it's actually made it quite viable a lot earlier in on than I was expecting. So yeah, we are on 110 AI now, for those of you wondering. And, well, the last couple of rounds have been a little bit rough, but the pace has been there. We just haven't really had the luck. As we make our way up towards the finish line then, that's going to be another purple score. We go top of the board. Hopefully we can do the same in qualifying.
It is time to go qualifying in Canada. A historic track. Looks simple, it's anything but. Welcome to Montreal.
Well, as we make our way then out into qualifying, at the time of recording, I don't actually know still whether the AI have been fixed to work with overtake mode or not. Looking at the times,
Push down to P20.
My guess is that they haven't so far, so yeah, we're not going to use the overtake mode still in this series over one lap in qualifying. But maybe if suddenly I end up last and I felt like I got a good lap together, then we might start using it again. But yeah, as we head out into Q1 though, obviously the first goal is just make it to Q2. It's 2 tenths up on Albon already. Come on, we just got to try and nail the wall of champions. Chicane, braking at the 100-meter board on the way in. It's so far out now, you got to brake because we're carrying so much speed on the entry up towards the line. 9.9 only puts us P15. It wasn't the best end to the lap, but oh, I don't know. I don't know whether the AI used an overtake now. Well, if we end up out in Q1, then I'm going to assume for future videos that the AI are now using that extra battery here in qualifying. We've still made it into Q2 every single race. So, hoping that can continue here, but obviously if it doesn't, then rather than my lack of skill, that's what I'm going to blame it on. Waiting for everybody else to finish their lap time, as we are still the one right on the bubble. Oh, come on, we are almost down to last place, and it's only Logan Sargent that seems to have done a worse job than me at the moment. Alex Albon now improving. We need to nail this final chicane. Try and tip it in nice and early, get a good run off of the corner as well. We are going to improve, but I think we're going to be out in Q1 for the first time this season. It is P17 on the grid. The AI are definitely using overtake. If you're watching this, start using it on your hot laps or end up like me. Well, yeah, Monaco is always one that you can't really tell what the AI are doing, to be completely honest, but Max Verstappen fastest then at the end of Session 1 ahead of Russell and Fernando Alonso. Tsunoda, not a particularly great qualifying effort by him down in P10, but Hulkenberg, I believe that's for the second or third time this year, is going to see Q2. But yeah, I don't think he's ever out-qualified me so far this season, and suddenly drops 2/10 on my head. We're going to start using hot lap mode in our qualifying runs.
Lights Out in Canada is approaching at a venue where the island was built for the 1967 World's Fair. The world has gathered once again. Welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix. .7-mile circuit peaking at around 190 miles per hour, 2 DRS zones, 14 turns, tight corners, a narrow track, and the famous Wall of Champions. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Sainz, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Albon, Mr. Monaco, Joe, Magnussen and Logan Sargent. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order.
Well, I was going to say that we should probably put some new engine components into the back of the car ready for this race, until I remembered that I've already done that heading into this one. So, yeah, definitely the AI now are using their overtake mode in qualifying, so we're going to do the same in future videos, and that's a good thing, because honestly, the laps that we've kind of had to do in qualifying so far in this game haven't felt like all-out attack mode. You know, you've always kind of felt like you're holding a little bit back in those runs. Of course, today, though, no chance of rain. It's going to be sunny skies throughout. So really, I'm looking forward to this race. Lining up P17, though, we have got our work cut out. We've got to try and carve our way through like we did last year. It is 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go. No wheel spin, but just could not quite get the power down, as Hamilton immediately is going to get jumped by Hulkenberg, our teammate there, trying to make some moves down at turn 1, as Zhou Guanyu's going to pinch me, but we will try and find a run around the outside, down through the hairpin there. Out of turn 2 we'll go. Surely we can try and get back around the kick Sauber. Oh, I don't run into the back of Alex Albon. Instead, I'll get tagged from behind. Don't know whether that was Zhou or Magnussen there that just made contact with my rear wheel, but yeah, obviously we went round at Imola a couple of rounds ago. Do not want to face the same fate today. Imola definitely felt like we had a lot of pace in the car. We were still able to recover to P9. But yeah, not quite sure we're going to be able to make up that many places this weekend as well. We try and navigate our way through the chicane. Nothing lost, nothing gained. I think Hamilton really was one of the only losers there, as speaking about gaining places down the inside of Alex Albon will go at the hairpin. I believe it is still Verstappen, though, that leads at the front of the field. Well, a lot about this video will still be discussing the new patch, and already we can start to see a little bit of a breakaway between our front runners there. We are going to go for an audacious attempt on Lewis Hamilton down at the hairpin.
Charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Yeah, you can already see the AI starting to spread out a little bit more than they used to here. We've got one of the Mercedes, that must obviously be George Russell, trying to hang on to the front runners, as both McLarens just lacking a little bit of pace. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'll just provide a little bit more kind of difference in racing. But yeah, obviously the kind of the way the AI act really saved us last year here, so this might be a brutal first test. But what this also means is you're going to have to be more critical with your moves, because the AI aren't guaranteed just to stay bunched up. It's down the inside of our team at Hulkenberg will go. He had the qualifying pace over me for the first time this season. He certainly doesn't have the race pace over me, though. Oh, Hamilton and Hulkenberg having a bit of a duke out behind me, so yeah, it's really good to see now that the AI, you know, it's not just the cars at the front of a train that are able to battle with each other. There do seems to be a little bit more swapping around further back. So we are really making this our happy hunting ground down at the hairpin. We've made an overtake there pretty much every other lap so far this Grand Prix.
Good job, nice overtake.
Well, Daniel Ricciardo there has been thoroughly Daniel Ricciardo'd, but yeah, the front of this group though is still those McLaren cars battling with each other. So they are starting to create a little bit of a train, but nothing like we used to see. Well, top end speed, we've said it so much this year, is pretty good in this has 222 miles an hour as our Yuki. Ugh. I genuinely wasn't trying to do that then. I tried to back out against Tsunoda, but clearly he broke a little bit early there because he was off the line. I don't think I've ever kind of gone around the outside like that through the final chicane here in Canada. But yeah, Tsunoda, he's very much had kind of the, you know, critical first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix victory, break that duct, and then immediately have a pretty terrible afternoon next time out. Verstappen did it at Monaco 2016. You know, other drivers have done it as well in the past. So, yeah, not ideal for Tsunoda. What I have got is that we haven't got any DRS now, so Tsunoda is gaining on me. Is he going to be able to have a look down the inside? Not quite that time. Whoa, it's just starting to overheat the rears slightly. I guess the other good thing as well with the new patch is that we're starting to see, you know, the likes of Tsunoda and Hamilton able to, you know, after grid penalties and things like that, able to carve their way through. Prior to the update, it was basically, unless your name was Max Verstappen.
Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down.
Yeah, unless your name was Max Verstappen, you basically took grid penalties and knew you were going to have a terrible race. Or if you were him, you go from 19th to the win in Miami. But yeah, now we're starting to see AI able to make more moves. Hamilton, I think he was lining up a move on Ricciardo, but the Australians jumped in again. But we're trying to use Tsunoda to get closer to Sainz. Just a little bit worried I've cooked the rears slightly.
Careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
There you go, team just confirming that. So yeah, really want to try and regulate them a little bit more towards the end of the stint. The undercut doesn't work as well here because tyre wear is so high, as we almost went straight into the back of Yuki. But we've got to be really strategic with when we try and make this move work on Tsunoda at the moment, because we need to try and make sure we slingshot ourselves into the DRS of Carlos Sainz. Seems that at the moment, though, both myself and the Ferrari don't quite have the out-and-out pace to really get to him. As to the inside of Tsunoda will go.
Hards next time.
Oh, another late-braking manoeuvre in towards that first corner, and the gap to Carlos dips down to 1.1, but we've got so much rear oversteer. We've got yellows out, we've got yellows, someone's slowing down. I don't know if that's a car in front of us. It's Tsunoda! Yuki Tsunoda slowing down. So I think Yuki has... well, he must have had an engine failure, surely, because he is pretty much grinding to a halt then. Can't see any smoke on the other side of the hairpin, but a safety car now will be perfect. And while Yuki Tsunoda, we said, oh, perfect. Red flag, that's not so perfect. Damn it.
Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Damn it, man. If we'd had a safety car then, the top runners could have been really screwed over, but that's not going to be the case. Red flag here for one car breaking down seems a little bit excessive, unless he's dropped a load of oil around the circuit and things like that. I feel like after we moaned that we weren't getting any red flags inside F1 24, Little bit of a shame now that we're getting too many red flags inside F124, but that's the way it goes.
Pre-stop, so let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
Well, I'll be honest, that's actually helped us out a little bit as well, because we were probably going to have to try and undercut some of the AI here, because we hadn't looked after the mediums very well. So we get a chance to reset on the harder compounded tyre, and obviously it's hard to the end of the day. Waiting on those 5 red lights once again, though, here in Montreal. It's going to be lights out, and away we go there as local boy Lance Stroll can't quite put the power down. Carlos Sainz going to immediately get past him and try to have a look down the inside of his former McLaren teammate there. We know there's a big opportunity to try and make an impact off of this restart, as everyone just trying to work out how much grip they've got on their tyres. As Stroll dives it back down the inside of myself there and almost into the rear quarter of the V-Carb car as well there. Can we have a look down the inside of Sainz? Yes, we can. There's Lando, Norris and Pierre Gasly on the medium compounded tyres, so they might have to box again before this race is down and out. 20 laps on a set of the mediums is a very tall order around this circuit, but yeah, Verstappen and Perez waltzing away at the front of the field off of the restart. We're still struggling to find the balance in this car. As Carlos Sainz there tried to have a look back at the inside, but we know we can brake late into that hairpin. We've done well. We are into the points for the first time today. Red Bull, yeah, have used this restart to their advantage. George Russell has got past Charles Leclerc as well, so they're just waltzing off into the distance at the front. And maybe, you know, Perez again, we need to see him, you know, if he wants to fight for that title. Don't know how many times I've said it, but he's got to start getting the better of his teammate quite reliably. He's kept that gap pretty low this season, but it's often been because of Verstappen having bad races.
These tyres need to get us to the end of this race. Okay, so we're leading
Checo
our
having
teammate
good
by
ones.
3.3 seconds. Okay, mate, Lando's ahead of you now. They're holding us
I
up
have
now,
eyes
so let's
marked.
please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
It annoys me so much when he just talks non-stop for like a good minute. Especially now as we've lost the DRS to the McLaren. But yeah, got to try and find a way past Lando. Well, there we go. That's going to be the move done.
In that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though.
Again, I just get caught out when the AI are bunched up like that, how early they have to brake down into the hairpin there. But we made the move work. There seems to be quite a big Constantine run up behind that Merc and Ferrari still, as you can see how aggressively they're battling each other. So if we could get to the front of this group, I would be a very happy man, as we got a really nice line through the final chicane. Are we going to be able to apply pressure to Gasly, who brakes a little bit earlier than I was expecting? We lock up the rears, but we make it happen. Again, I need a heart rate monitor on F124, because I'm sure it just spiked. Well, we're getting a little bit of deja vu here, trying to get a run, and then on the second Alpine. Obviously, they're probably still our big title rivals. The same between them and Aston Martin. It's a little bit weird, isn't it? Of course, Aston Martin and Haas really only have one driver that's scoring. Alpine have 2 drivers that score quite reliably, but obviously just not as many points. Which of us will reign supreme in kind of the battle of the midfield? Oh, come on, Russell and Leclerc. I mean, it's working wonders for you at the moment because they are tripping each other up. We have got 6 cars from 6 different teams in a row here at the moment. As Leclerc gets past Russell again, we're going to try and get around the outside of Fernando Alonso. Gave him a little bit of a pinch there down at turn 1. I'm sure he wasn't happy about it. But really interesting to see the way the AI have split their strategy. Are we going to see the medium runners have to box before the end of the afternoon? And also, what tyres are Red Bull on?
Piastri ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Your last lap time, 1 minute 11.6. Right, you're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
Damn it, so the team aren't willing to tell me whether Piastri's got a box again or not. That normally means he doesn't, which would be a little bit of a shame here. Although, yeah, those medium tyres are going to be absolutely wrecked by the end of the afternoon. It kind of seems like after all of the chaos... Oh, hello, here we go. Oscar Piastri there getting a bad run off of turn 2. Down the inside, we'll send it and into P5. I've already made the overtake mark. Don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it kind of feels like now Russell and Leclerc have sorted their battle out. That everyone has settled back in again. Alonso is still battling with Pierre Gasly a bit further back. But if we could be in the fight for the podium, I'm going to be very happy. But, you know, we've got to play the long game towards the end. Still more than 10 laps to go. A third of this race left to play. Well, I think the medium runners as well have now started to realise that they need to look after their tyres if they want to get into the end of the race. I'm wondering, because Leclerc was able to keep up with the Red Bulls early on, whether they were on hards, he was on mediums in the first stint. So they might both be on a set of medium tyres as well towards the end of this afternoon. So could us three really work together and try and close back in that gap? Maybe I am living in fantasy land. Well, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to guess which Red Bull has dropped back from the other one, I think my money would be on Sergio Perez here as we try and make our way out of the chicane. Russell, yeah, is definitely just struggling to match Charles Leclerc out and out. So we're going to have a look down the inside. How many times have we made that move today? And we're going to complete it again there as Perez, yep, down in P2. He is on hards, though. Team happy with that. And now we can try and line up Charles Leclerc here late on in the day. I feel like, yeah, second lap over Checo Perez is probably quite a tall order. But the Mexican definitely is starting to struggle. Come on then, Charles Leclerc, surely this is going to be quite an easy move with the DRS as well. Equal power units between our two cars, and well, maybe trying to sign for Ferrari isn't the right choice at the moment. Around the outside will go of Charles, chuck it through the final chicane.
At the moment, just focus on the driving.
Oh, just nudged the wall there on the exit of the final corner. The gap to Checo, though, down to 6 seconds. But yeah, both of those Red Bulls on hard, so there's no risk of their tyres hitting the cliff before the end. I mentioned early on in the weekend about how obviously we're now running 110 AI, and we're able to do that because the AI aren't ridiculously OP in a straight line. This is probably the perfect example of that right now. Gap to Checo Perez is still coming down a little bit each lap. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, despite having the DRS, if we just use our battery strategically here, he's able to get pretty close. And then just cannot quite commit to a move into that final chicane there. 4 laps to go now. The gap to Verstappen is still opening up at the front of the field. Yeah, we are taking a little bit of time out of Checo, but I certainly don't think, unless he locks up or something, we're going to get to him by the end of this GP. That being said, P3 from 17th on the grid, I would not complain about. Starting the final lap then of the Canadian Grand Prix. Any of you that watched the video yesterday will know how annoyed I got with F1 24. But yeah, obviously with a proper now first test of the new patch, safe to say it does work pretty well. There's still a lot of glaringly obvious glitches in this game that need to be fixed. But yeah, the one they tried to patch out, of course, you know, a DRS train that was basically the entire field, definitely has worked there. You can see how spread out the AI have become over the course of this GP. Would be nice if they patched Max Verstappen's pace, because he's just still OP. I'm fully aware he is OP in real life as well then, but as we make our way down in towards the final corners, clearly as well the AI now do use their overtake mode in qualifying. Obviously Hulkenberg out-qualified me. I've still put nearly 30 seconds on him over the course of the race, so yeah, we're going to obviously definitely use that overtake mode in future videos as well. Here comes Charles Leclerc though. One final time in towards the final chicane there. We'll defend for all our might. Verstappen is going to win and open up his championship lead once more. It is back to the podium for us.
Out of the final corner for the final time, Max Verstappen takes the win.
And it's one thing to win, but to win like that in total dominant style, that was a fantastic drive, and it is not one that we see very often.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
Well, there we go. Charles Leclerc gave me a little bit of a scare towards the end of the race, but we did hang on for our first podium since the win back on the Jeddah Corniche. Of course, we did take a podium in the sprint in Shanghai, and I believe, yeah, our top three were pretty much the exact same drivers as it was back there as well then. But Max Verstappen, yet another race victory at the top of the table there. Perez hangs on to P2 ahead of myself. Charles Leclerc, fastest lap bonus point as well for him, ahead of Russell Alonso, both McLarens, the second of the Aston Martins there of Lance Stroll, and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. Alpine, what? Oh, they were Ocon. Oh, they both two stopped in the end. So yeah, Alpine seemingly the only team that really got screwed over by that red flag there. And Hamilton retired from the Grand Prix. Certainly didn't notice that. So that must have been right on the very last lap of the race as well there. But yeah, Hulkenberg down in 14th place, a disappointing result for him. Zhou Guan Yu and Alex Albon actually having pretty good races in what is deemed to be the worst cars on the grid right now. That means if we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, Verstappen opens up his lead to 26 points once again. Charles Leclerc crosses the 100-point threshold, but really from Hamilton down to Alonso, it is anybody's game for P4 at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. 28 points covering 7 drivers in the table is a rather impressive feat at the moment. I'm mainly interested in trying to get back ahead of the driver in P6 as well. Further down the order, yeah, still just Sergeant Zhou and Hulkenberg yet to score a point. And constructors-wise there, we are back behind Aston Martin. We've got a decent gap over Alpine, but yeah, we need to try and make sure that we are reliably taking points out of Aston Martin as well there. Thank you all so much for watching this video, though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure I leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow then ready for the Spanish Grand Prix.